I've been thinking a lot about the thing I've seen a lot now, which I really enjoy, of Eddie fell first, but Steve fell harder, and specifically what that like trajectory would look like for Steve and how Eddie would eventually respond to it. Because I do enjoy with Steve a sort of unawareness of the dimensions of what queer identity can be, and more specifically, like kind of not knowing what bisexuality is, but even beyond that, just not knowing what non-attraction to men actually looks like. Basically, the scenario I keep picturing is him being with Robin at some point and just sort of saying like, yeah, well, you don't have to be attracted to men to know that like Eddie is like objectively gorgeous. And Robin is just like very carefully like, go on, tell me more about what you mean. And he's just sort of like, well, like neither of us are attracted to men, but like Eddie, come on, like his hair and his eyes and like, oh my God, his hands. And Robin is just sort of like, I mean, he's a nice guy. I get it, but no. And Steve kind of just thinks that like she's fucking with him because, hello, have you seen Eddie? And gently, she's just sort of like, Steve, that is not how people who are not attracted to men and a specific person talk or feel just naturally about someone like this. And I do think that that moment would be a bit of like an earthquake for Steve, but I also think that once he got through it, it would be a really fast transition to, oh, I have a crush on him, okay. And in terms of Eddie, I think it is, first of all, I think that man is a virgin like no one else, but I do think that he has probably dealt with ostensibly straight guys feeling sexual attraction towards him and making it his problem. And so he has a sort of prickly defense against men like he would perceive Steve was, being interested in him and knowing that that could be dangerous for him, or just upset that it's never actually reciprocated, or that there's always an underlying disgust coming from these people in their attraction to him. And I can see him really struggling with the fact that he really likes Steve, but of course is the most worried that that would be what's going on. And I like the idea of after Steve realizes that he has feelings for Eddie, his behavior kind of shifting, and Eddie interpreting that in the worst way and weaponizing it against Steve and just sort of saying like, you know, you're only ever acting this way around me, you're only ever around me because, you know, you just want to fuck me. And Steve being like, no, I feel weird around you now because I like you so much and I think you're cute and cool and I really like you. Because I think that while Eddie has a lot of experience with the more physical, aggressive side of things, I think that boy would blush and melt if someone actually had like a sweet crush on him.